One of my favorite activities that I work with my students is to do something that in the literature is called it's a cooperative learning technique called a constructive controversy. And this is somewhat similar to a regular debate where a class would have two sides, and then you come to class prepared to debate your side of the issue. But what makes it a cooperative activity is that I separate my students in the beginning of the class into the two sides. They come to class having read a couple of articles that have a differing point of view on something in education. And then when they come to class, I then have them take 5 or 10 minutes together in a group of 10 students or so to talk through and get the best points of that side of the debate. And then I take those groups, one from each side of the debate, and then I pair up students individually, one from each side of the debate, and create a very controlled atmosphere where they have time to share their side of the issue, then listen to the other person share their side of the issue, and they debate a little bit back and forth, giving the best arguments they can for their side, all the way through until the last two steps of a constructive controversy the second to last step is to switch sides of the debate. So then you have to then go against the side that you've been arguing all this time, and then so does the other person. And so you argue as forcefully as you can for that side, what the best of that side is. And then the last step, which is I think the key thing that works well, is they then jointly drop all advocacy for one side or the other, and together, through the conversation that they've had for these 5 or 10 minutes, create a paragraph together of the best possible solution to this debate. So instead of I was the best debater, so I won, even if I don't believe in it, you then get to end a debate with an opportunity to say, what have we learned by discussing this together? What are the best points from both sides? So we call it a constructive controversy because it then builds something through the debate, as opposed to just building those debating skills. So if I were starting this with a class and they were doing this for the first time, I wouldn't want to start with, say, everybody should be a Republican or everyone should be a Democrat or something like, so something that's more easily worked with on both sides. But you could work from an easier issue that's easier to drop the advocacy up toward things that are more intense, more interesting in some ways. One of the things that I do with the base groups that we talked about was each day they will report to their base group on their level of preparation for the day. So they will say, I feel like from 1 to 5, I'm at a 5 today. I read everything carefully. I made notes. I've got questions that I'm trying to understand better. So I'm at a 5. And they report that to their small group. Then they get a group average and graph that throughout the semester. And then to the class, the group reports their group average. So say, okay, our group, we averaged a 3.75 or whatever. And then, so did that go up or down from last week? So we have a little bit of social accountability built into the preparation. Sometimes I give them points for that preparation. Sometimes I make it just for their information. Well, I've asked the students afterwards, like, so what did you think? How much did you learn from this debate or this activity versus a lecture or something like that? And the comments that I get from them definitely support the fact that I was much more engaged. I felt that I needed to know what I was talking about. I needed to really understand what I was going to be debating and sharing. It also, one of the things that helps the engagement to be up, as well as I think then the learning, like the engagement should be correlated to the learning, is often in a class discussion, it'll be 2 or 3 people maybe on each side that will talk and share their things, and they're the most forceful students in the class. By making it a pair of one person on one side with one person on another, there's really no way that they can't engage in the discussion. Like, they have to engage. They're alone. There's no one else to talk for them. They have to do it. And so they, as students, recognize immediately, I learned a lot more from this opportunity. I remember what we talked about. But I think that the main improvement is going to be small steps that way. Like they may say, okay, I need to be a little more prepared. I'm going to have to share this with someone else. I feel like I need to be prepared, as opposed to being able to just kind of be ignored in the back. But overall, the key, I think, is definitely the long-term improvement. Do I create excitement about learning that then makes them want to go out and explore more? Do I help them feel ready to go out and be a teacher in the future? That's where I want them to see how to learn, so that when you get out there and you're on your own, do you know how to answer the hard questions about how am I going to help this individual student, or how am I going to teach this whole class? If they've learned, how to prepare, engage students, and then improve, that model is a great model for here in school, but also for life, and specifically for our teachers, for being better teachers in the public schools.